Hi, my name is Brian Wilson, and welcome to tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar is going to have replaced the Furniture Roundtable webinar. I just couldn't get enough participants for that to make it interesting enough to do a webinar on. So I've chosen to replace that webinar with this one. And the title of this webinar will be Keeping More of Your Profits in the Store, or How to Make More Money with ConsignPro. So this should be very interesting, I think, to anybody that uses the software, because its goal is to show you how to collect more money from your customers and give less money to your consignors, the difference being profit to you. Sounds a little bit shady, but I promise you that as we take a look through some of the features that are built into ConsignPro, you'll probably find some that resonate with you without upsetting either your customers or your consignors. We've had a lot of our customers are using something called buyer's fees, which are the first thing we'll cover. I would say probably 75% of our customers who know about buyer's fee use them. And so I want to show you what buyer's fee are, as well as about 5 or 6 other features in the software that can allow you to retain more of the money you take in your pocket rather than distributing out to your consignors or your vendors. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into ConsignPro's main menu, and we're going to take a walk through these different features. I'm on version 9.90. In the top left corner of the screen, it's telling me that I'm on 9.90. You can check the version that you're on to see if you are on 9.89 is, I think, our latest release. 9.90 hasn't been released just yet. I hope to get that out this week. If you are on the version we're on, then you can expect to see all the same screens and all the same features that I'm covering today, or even a relatively close version would have all of these features built into it. So without further ado, we're going to jump into our first topic tonight, which will be buyer's fees. Very simply put, a buyer's fee is an additional amount of money that's applied or added to the price of an item. That new price then appears on the tag. It's paid by your customer, and that small amount of money is deducted from the selling price of the item before the amount is split with your consignor. So it comes off of the top. Some store owners think of this as a handling fee or a tagging fee. You can call it whatever you'd like. It's going to work the same way. It is important that these buyer's fees be disclosed to your consignors in your consignor contract. I always go back to the sentence, something like, our store name reserves the right to add a nominal handling fee to each item we consign. That handling fee is not shared with you, the consignor. Something along those lines will probably work well. Most of the time it will be kind of either overlooked by the consignor or not thought too much of. Let me show you how buyer's fees are set up in ConsignPro, and we can run a little example of how they work. These, by the way, I think are in our user guide. If I'm not mistaken, they're mentioned on page 88 and 89. That's the ConsignPro user guide. But of course, with this wonderful webinar tonight, you might not even need to open that book. In any case, we're going to jump into Maintain Store. That's where buyer's fees are turned on and set up. You've got 2 tabs on Maintain Store. You've got the Store Information tab, and you've got the Store Terms tab. Up top, we're going to jump over to Store Terms. And on this screen towards the bottom, we've got something called buyer's fees. We can set up buyer's fees, either simple buyer's fees or advanced buyer's fees. This system has advanced buyer's fees turned on. I'm going to turn these off right now by resetting them. And I want to do that so that this field over here for simple buyer's fees opens up. I'm going to tell the system I'd like to apply a 50-cent buyer's fee to all newly added items that we put in the system that cost more than $1. So anytime we add an item to the database where the selling price is more than $1 or more, the system will add 50 cents to that price tag. That 50 cents is going to come off the top of the selling price. It's going to be paid by the buyer to you, and it's going to come off of the selling price before that amount of money is split with the consignor. So we're going to do some really simple examples to see how that works. Let's take a look. Let's go back to the Store Info menu, Add Inventory. I'm going to add a test item. I don't care too much about this stuff, doesn't matter. I'm just going to pop anything in here. We're going to do a $10 item with a 50% split. You notice down in the center, we've got buyer's fee set at 0, but when I tab off of the price field, that buyer's fee automatically populates with 50 cents. That's what we told it to do. We could change that buyer's fee to any other number that we'd like. I'm going to keep it at 50 cents. This is item 12727. I'm going to jump back to the menu. I'm going to go to reports, and I'm going to see what that price tag would look like by printing it to the screen. Hopefully you can make this out. I'll make it a little bit bigger. We should see now that we've got an item that's on the database with a selling price of $10.50. So that's the $10 price tag plus the 50 cent buyer's fee. Back to the menu, make sale, 1272. Fingers are working too fast there. 12727. There's that long sleeve shirt I just added, selling price at $10.50. The customer doesn't know there's a 50 cent buyer's fee added on. They don't care. They just know that this shirt is worth $10.50 to them. They're going to buy it. You can go to finish sale. Finish sale screen pops up. We'll do a cash sale with no sales receipt printed, and I'm going to complete the sale. It's collecting some sales tax, of course, along the way. I'm going to go to find inventory and look up 12727. I've got a big database here, so it's taking a little bit longer to bring up items. There's my $10 item with the 50 cent buyer's fee, and the sale price on it was $10.50. Belongs to consignor 191. Let's go check out their account and see what happened. Find consignor 191. Account balance is $8.50. I'm going to click on account activity over here on the right. See how it got that way. And if I scroll to the bottom, I see this consignor sold a long sleeve shirt. By the way, this description column is kind of new and improved. I believe this was in version 9.89 or 9.88, where we give you a lot more information on the screen as to exactly what sold and how it was split. So I think that alone might be a good reason to update, along with some other features that we put in. I think this one's pretty cool. As you may or may not know, we can click on this $5 amount that the consignor was paid, and if we double click on it, it will say the item was sold for $10.50. My 50 cent buyer's fee is going right into your pocket. $10 is the real quote-unquote selling price that the consignor sees everywhere. 50% goes to the store. $5 goes to the store. $5 goes to the consignor. So as I mentioned, myreseleweb.com, any printed report, any outward-facing report that we have to the customer, to the consignor, would show a $10 sale price, not a $10.50 sale price. They would see it if they walk around your store and pick up their item. They would see $10.50, but nowhere else will they see that. I don't think it would come up very often, but you do need to protect yourself by having a line in your contract and being able to explain that you do add a small handling fee to each item, called a buyer's fee. I'm going to close the screen. I'm going to jump back to the main menu. The consignor got $5, not $5.25. If I go into maintain store terms, I'm going to turn off my simple buyer's fees because that's too simple for me. I want to say for items sold from 50 cents to $9.99, I want a 25 cent buyer's fee. $10 to $49.99, I want a 50 cent buyer's fee. $50 to $99.99, a $1 buyer's fee. And then anything over $100, I'm going to do a $2 buyer's fee. Okay? You can, by the way, also use percents. So let's get rid of that $2 and let's call it 2% for items sold over 100. Okay? So what we'll do now, oh, by the way, before we leave the screen, at the bottom, it's important. We've got a checkbox down here. It says make buyer's fees reduce with markdowns and discounts. So this would be an example of something that you put into the system at $55 with a $1 buyer's fee. If it sells for $45 instead of $55, maybe because you have markdown periods turned on in the system, the buyer's fee will automatically reduce from $1 to 50 cents. Okay, so it will fall into the new price line or price matrix here that determines what the buyer's fee should be at the time the item gets sold and at the real price that it sells at. If you want to keep that buyer's fee locked at $1 rather than reducing with the sale price, you can remove this check from the bottom and you'll always collect your dollar. I think it's on by default. I'm going to add an item to the system for $150. Click Update. Advanced buyer's fees are turned on. I'm going to go to Add Inventory. Pop a consignor in there, our favorite 191 again. These fields don't matter. I'll pop $150 in here and press Tab. My buyer's fee is 2% of $150 or $3. Okay? That's 12728 is the item number. Make sale, 12728. There's my 150 plus 3 Avon bottle that I'm selling, $153 to the customer. We check out. We go to consignor 191. We look at the account activity. The consignor got paid $74.97. Why? Double click. 153. This, by the way, this explanation is only available to you, the store owner. The consignor would generally speaking just see $74.97 everywhere. 153 minus the $3.06 buyer's fee. I think that got recalculated a little bit based on sales tax. I got to take a look into that. 149.94 is the difference that gets split between the consignor and you, $74.97, each 50-50. Okay. So that part works pretty neatly. As I mentioned, everywhere else in the system, the consignor sees that item at 150. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little bit of feel as to how buyer's fees work, why you'd want them turned on. We have some customers with high volume, high profit, high revenue stores, a lot of sales going through them. They make thousands and thousands of dollars a year from turning buyer's fees on. And if you say, well, gee, how will I know how much I'm making after using it? Where does it show me? The answer to that is on our reports page. We've got an income statement, and I'm going to run that for today because I know we've got at least 2 transactions with buyer's fees. Print it to the screen. And as we can see down here, we've got total sales, gross sales, buyer's fees collected, $3.56. Okay, so you'll always have an indication as to how much buyer's fees, what portion of your total revenues were collected by these buyer's fees. I think it's safe for you to turn them on and safe for you to use them. Many of you listening to this are already using them. I think 70+% of our customers are probably using them. That's just a gut feel for me. I have no scientific knowledge of that. Just the people that I talk to in the seminars that we do and in the training sessions that we do. About 7 out of 10 hands go up when I ask how many people are using buyer's fees. So it's a rough estimate. That's simple and advanced buyer's fees, a real good way to make some extra money for your store without changing your split percentage. I know a lot of people like to do 50-50 and keep it at 50-50. You can make more money with buyer's fees rather than having to go to 60-40. Or if you're going 60-40 and you want to make even more money, you can go buyer's fees on, 60-40 split. I would say another rough gut feel, I would say about half of our stores do a 50-50 split. The other half of our stores do a 60% to the store, 40% to the consignor. I think it would depend a lot upon the market that you're doing business in and, of course, what the competitors in that surrounding market are doing as well. In any case, we're going to take a look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional ways to make money. Buyer's fees are by large or by far probably the most used out of these 7 features we're sharing tonight. Next, we're going to go into credit card fees. Under Maintain Store, Customize ConsignPro, Store Settings, Selling, we have the ability to deduct from each purchase a percent. For any purchase that's made from your store where the customer pulls out a credit card and hands it to you, we can recover those credit card fees because I know you're probably paying a lot of them. We can recover those fees from the consignors who make up the items that are on that purchase. So if you've got 5 consignors or you have 5 items that you're selling that belong to 5 different consignors, and we've got a $4, let's say $100 total sale, we can recover from that $3 from each one of those 5 consignors as a fraction of what their item represents. So a $100 sale, 5 items. If each one had a $20 item, we would split that $3 5 ways equally. And every consignor you would collect from them 1/5 of that $3, okay, right from the amount that gets split. Let's see if we can do that. If we can probably fake this out to make it happen. Let's go into my lovely add inventory screen and add an item here. I do a $100 item, 50% split, consignor 191 again, $2 buyer's fee. And that was, I think, 12729 probably. Here's my $102 item. Finish sale. Credit card, because we're only collecting that on credit card sales. I'm going to complete the sale. I'm going to go to consignor 191. Count activity. Scroll to the bottom. Here's that item that got sold, $50.50. 202 minus the buyer's fee gives me $50. These buyer's fees are not calculating correctly. I have to look at the program. We just made a change to buyer's fee math. I think I messed it up. I think that should be $102. That's being a $2 buyer's fee that's coming off. I will get that corrected before we release this version. That buyer's fee math mess up is not in any version that you're using. It's in version 9.90, and I guess I'm not completely tested on that. In any case, there's our $3.03 credit card fee, which represents $3 of the selling price, is coming off of the amount the consignor is getting paid as a separate line item on the activity screen. And we see that we collected that. Instead of owing them $133, we only owe them $130. Now, this will show up. If you print this activity for your consignor, they will see credit card fee as a deduction. So that might be something you put in your contract as well. Our store reserves the right to collect credit card fees should the customer choose to pay by credit card. The current fee that we're charging is 3%, something to that effect. That would get you off the hook. So that's 3% of the $100 and $102, I guess, $3.03. Okay, so it pays the consignor a little bit less because you have to pay those credit card fees to your merchant processing company. If you think you're paying too much for merchant processing and you're not using one of our providers, XCharge or BluePay, give them a call. We have great success with over 500 of our customers using XCharge and BluePay. It's built right into your copy of ConsignPro. Call them for a free quote. Call me if they can't beat your quote, and I will talk to them, what you're paying now, in other words. I haven't seen that happen in a really long time. It does happen from time to time. But give them a call. I can get you their contact information. In any case, that's how we collect credit card fees from our consignors when the customer has chosen to pay by credit card. Another option in here under Maintain Store, Customize CP, Selling tab. New feature 9.88, I think, share all discounts with consignor. What used to happen is if you took a discount on the Make Sale screen, the discount that you took on this screen using either the percent box, let's put an item in here so we can play with it. 12730, $10. Oops, too fast. 12730, $10.50 with the buyers. If you took a discount here, that discount is shared between you and the consignor equally. Okay? If you took the discount instead on this screen right here, that discount is only taken by you. It's not shared by any consignor. Okay? So it's important to note that discounts taken on this screen on the item are shared equally between you and the consignor. Discounts right now taken on this screen, or up to this version, were paid by you, the store owner. On the screen that we have back here, we can share the discounts, all discounts, with the consignor. So not only the discounts we take here, but also the discounts we take on the amount due screen. Okay, so now if I were to take a discount here of $4, $10.50, I'm going to complete this sale. I forgot who owned that, consignor 142. Scroll to the bottom, $4.12, 25-cent buyer's fee, new amount $8.25. Yeah, so the sale price, instead of saying $10.50, the sale price got reduced. It got reduced so that they got paid less. We really sold that item for $10.50. The consignor is being responsible for some of that discount, so we're actually collecting, we're giving the consignor less money by reducing the sale price, and we're reducing the sale price on this item because there was a discount taken on the amount due screen. Okay, so instead of getting roughly $5.25 for that $10.50 item, they're getting $4.12. Okay, it's seamless to the consignor, or it's not seen by the consignor in any way. They just know you sold this item for $8.50, which truly you did sell it for $8.50. Okay, because you took that discount. If that box was not checked on the selling screen, then you would see sale price $10.50 minus buyer's fee 50 cents. By 50 cents, 50% to the store would be $5, giving the consignor $5 instead of $4.12. So if you think that's a more fair way to allocate discounts, you can certainly go to Maintain Store, Customize CP, Store Settings, Selling, Share All Discounts with Consignor. Okay? That does not mean the consignor is taking the full hit for the discount. You're taking some of that hit as well. I think we had a $10.50 item with a $4 discount. The consignor is feeling $2 of that pain. I call it pain. I don't know why. You feel $2 of that. I guess because it's less money going into your account. You feel $2 of that pain. So it's shared equally between the two of you. Now, you might want to turn that on if that seems like a good idea. I think it's a feature that people have been asking for a really long time. They were tired of doing discounts on this screen. They wanted to do the discount on this screen, but they didn't want to have that discount only affect the store. They wanted it to affect both the store and consignor. Okay? So that's another way to keep more money in your store. The next is commission schedules. Generally speaking, you in your store probably have a fixed percentage, whether it be 50% or 60% to the store. You can go under Maintain Store, Store Terms tab up top, and you can set commission schedules up. These commission schedules can be set up by time or by selling price. This tab is by time, so I'm going to give you an example of what this would look like. These are not markdowns, by the way. We're actually changing the split percentage on the item based on how long it's been in the store before it gets sold. Okay? In this case, we would say the item comes into the store and it sits on the floor for 30 days. If it sells, the consignor gets half. If it sells between 31 and 60 days, the consignor is getting 40% of the selling price, and over 60 days, they're only getting 30% of the selling price. The theory there, I guess, is the longer that it sits in your store, the more time it occupies taking the place of other items that might sell faster. Therefore, it's costing you money. It should be costing the consignor some money, too, for taking up your valuable floor space. Okay? Some store owners use this feature, commissions by time. Again, this would have to be in your contract. If you turn this feature on tomorrow, it will start impacting every item you sell tomorrow. It won't just be for newly added items. Unlike the first two features we talked about, buyer's fees and credit card fees, those just affect newly added items to the system and newly added items that you sell. This feature will affect any item that you sell after it gets turned on. Just might want to keep that in mind. The other tab is commissions by selling price. We could say for items that sell under $100, give the consignor 50%. If they sell over $100, let's say $100 to $1,000. So we've made some of my furniture store customers. We could say give them 60%. Anything over $1,000, give them 70%. So what this does is it says, hey, if you bring me your really good items, the fields aren't even long enough to accomplish some of those, to show some of those numbers well. I got to expand the length of those a little bit. $0 to $100, 50%. Bring me a higher priced item and I will give you a better split percentage. Okay? That is actually paying, it's doing the opposite. That's actually paying out more money to the consignor, not keeping more in your pocket, but some store owners do feel obliged to do this, especially when they sell larger ticket items. They feel that the consignor should get more when the item gets sold. Okay? That is our commissions by time and our commissions by selling price. You can decide whether you want to turn those on or not. Item return fees, right on this screen as well. If you hate the thought of having to pull your consigned items at the end of their consignment period to return those to your consignors, if you'd rather have your consignors pull their items themselves, you might get into the habit of charging a 50-cent pull fee or per item return fee to the consignor for you having to pick the item up, pull it up to the front, put it in a nice neat pile or a nice neat bag to give out back to the consignor. Okay, per item return fee 50 cents. Let's go try one of those and see what happens. Add inventory, consignor number 47. Putting in an item really quick here. $3, 12731. Jump back to the menu. Let's now say, let's through the magic of time, figure that this item has now been in the store for 90 days and the consignor wants it back. You go in here, you change status to returned, pop your item number in, change status, charge 50-cent item fee for this return. Absolutely, yes. Let's go back to the main menu. Was consignor 47. This happened to be a consignor that had a zero account balance, so their account is now in the negative. But there you can see our per item return fee of 50 cents. That reduced that consignor's balance that came out of their account. Okay, that would probably get consignors into the habit of maybe selecting their own items or retrieving their own items from your store rather than having you pull them. Or if you like the idea of this being just another line item on your income statement per item return fees, that's a pretty good way to look at it too. Just another revenue source for your store. Okay. Again, we went under maintain store, store terms, and we said when we pull items, 50 cents. Okay. Perfect. The next thing we'll take a look at is check printing fees. Check printing fees are a way for you to collect a little bit more money for your store. Maintain store print checks. Hopefully everybody uses this screen to print their consignor checks. All you need is the right check stock in your printer tray and a little bit of time, and the ConsignPro program will print all of your consignor checks for you. You can say, I'd like to deduct $1 from each consignor check as a mailing fee. Check mailing fee. Okay, so in this case, we would collect on every check in the system $1. Every check that comes out of the system, we'd collect that $1, and we'd show it on the consignor account as a check mailing fee. Okay, so if you're in the habit of printing checks, those checks are expensive for you to buy from your printing company. Postage is now 49 cents or 50 cents for a first-class stamp. And envelopes aren't free either, so you might want to collect from each check that you print, $1 or some other number. You might put that in your contract as well, saying in the case that we mail you a check, we're going to collect that $1 fee. You can, by the way, specify which consignors you mail to and which consignors you don't by using the consignor code field on the consignor screen. If on each consignor's account that wanted a check printed or mailed, you put a mail check or M or P, I'm going to put mail check in here, and then what we can do is we can just produce checks for consignors who have a code on their Find Consignor screen of MC. Okay, show you where that code is really quick here. Find Consignor screen, we've got this code right here. Let's go to Add Consignor instead. Mail check. Okay, so if you had an MC in there, then you went to print checks, you could just print checks for your MC people. That would be your check printing people. Okay, so we can deduct a check printing fee or a check mailing fee from each check. Again, keeping more of the money that you worked so hard for in your store rather than being paid out. Second to lastly, we're going to look at these things called item charges. What's an item charge? Item charges are set up through the Add Inventory screen, and what they are is a handling fee, a cleaning fee, a repair fee, a dry cleaning fee, anything that you may need to do to an item to make it fit for sale. Maybe a handheld electronic game comes in that needs batteries for you to be able to sell it, and you put those batteries in. Maybe a pantsuit comes in that you notice needs a little bit of cleaning. You take it to the dry cleaner, and the dry cleaner gives you a bill. These are all things that you might do to get the item ready for sale that you want to collect back from your consignor. Let's do that right now. Consignor 160. Let's say we had to put some polish on some furniture. And that polish, we're going to say, cost us, let's say it's a $99 piece of furniture, and we put $2 worth of furniture polish on that desk, 12732. Okay, there's my $100 with the $1 buyer's fee. $99 becomes $100. And I'm going to complete the sale. Find inventory 12732. Consignor 160 has that $2 item charge. Watch what happens. They sold the desk, the consignor got paid for it, and right below it we see item charge, $2. Okay. We don't have a reason for that in there yet. We can do that in an upcoming release. We can get a nice reason behind that. You could also put in the notes field on that item, 12732. We could go here. We could add notes. Polish the desk for $2 in cleaning polish, furniture polish. Okay, hide notes. Then you'd always have a note of that happened. But again, it collected that $2 fee. One of the other interesting things that I should make aware when we're talking about all these fees, we could go to Maintain Store, Customize CP under Store Settings, and I think it's under Selling. It's somewhere in here. Let's see. Inventory. Where are you? Somewhere in here. So, okay, it's this checkbox here. I was looking for the word hide. Separate item fees on reports. That box is checked. So that really should say show item fees on reports so that your consignor has full transparency over why they're getting paid. If this box is checked, if you reduce the amount you're paying a consignor for a credit card fee, a cleaning fee, any of the other fees that we've taught, per item return fees, any other fee that we talked about, if you have this box checked that says separate item fees on reports, then they will see that breakout on their activity on My Resale Web. If this box is not checked, then we will still take the money away from the amount they're getting paid. We just won't show them on a line item why we did it. Okay, so instead of one line item that says, you know, item sold $8, and the next line down, you know, cleaning fee or item fee of $2, we're just going to show, instead of 8 and 2, we're just going to show 6, and we're not going to tell them how we got to 6. So some store owners like full transparency. Other store owners think that transparency leads to an endless supply of questions they'd rather not have. We have a checkbox here to see depending on which camp you're in. Okay. So those are item charges. They get set up on Add Inventory right down here. Anything that gets an item fit for use before it goes on your sales floor or maybe even a delivery charge or a pickup charge. If you pick up a piece of furniture and you want to charge, $19 for that pickup with your truck that you had to put gas in, that can go into this item charge field. That would be for pickup of furniture and things like that. I love anything like that. Furniture delivery can go in there. So that works pretty good. The last thing we'll talk about is how we can charge all of your consignors. Up here on the Tools menu, we've got something called Apply Consignor Fees. When might you do this? An example of this would be maybe you charge an annual consignment fee to your consignors for being a consignor in your store. We have some customers that definitely do that. So what you might do is you might come in here on the first of the year and you might say charge all consignors a $10 annual membership. I'm not advocating that any of these, you should or shouldn't do any of these things. I think you've gotten by now probably the idea that I'm just kind of pointing them out and kind of telling you what I think my customers do, but all of these things would depend on your individual market. I'm just kind of right now showing you how they're done. If we were to apply a $10 annual membership fee to what's called all accounts, I'm going to hit adjust. Maybe I do this on January 2nd of every year because you don't work on the 1st. 287 accounts have been updated. Let's go into account activity. Scroll to the bottom. There's my annual membership fee of $10. Every consignor got hit. There were over 200. You just made $2,000. Okay. You might say, well, Brian, that's not very fair. Let's do that a little differently. What are my other options for applying consignor fees? I can say just do it to all active consignor accounts. And that way, if the active checkbox is checked on their screen, then I would apply the fee just to those active consignors. Most people don't use that active checkbox very often, so we've got another option here that says all accounts with available consigned items. Or even better, down here, only apply fee to accounts with a balance greater than 0. Okay? So you can do either one of those two things to just hit your accounts that are currently kind of in an active status. Okay? You can say accounts opened after. Maybe you only charge this once and you don't want to hit all the consignors that signed up with you 2 years ago. Maybe you just want to hit everybody who signed up with you last year. So you could say accounts opened after 1/1/2017. Okay? Or you can say accounts coded with. Accounts coded with could be on the consignor screen. We could put a code in here. Let's say their open date on this account was April 18th. You see it up here at the top. I'm going to code this one with a 4 because April's the 4th month of the year. I could now, on April 1st, come in here. On April 1st, I can come over here and say, apply a consignor fee to any account coded with a 4, an annual fee of $5. So what's that going to do? Any consignor that opened their account in April is going to get an annual fee of $5. We'll say yes, continue. One account has been updated. That was the account we just coded with the 4. Okay. So that's a way to pull fees or pull money out of consignors' accounts. We've given you a lot of different options to do that. The last one, which you can't see, has to do with My Resale Web. It's not turned on right now. And if I turn it on, My Resale Web, by the way, that's the portal where your consignors can look at their consignments on the internet 24/7, 365. It's got to be turned on our end for that to work. Accounts, consignors using My Resale Web. Let me do this. Let me exit ConsignPro. And let me restart it. I think I had to restart it for it to pick up that change. Nope, consignor's still not working. Let's find out why not. It's turned on here. Oh, I know why. It's only upload selected accounts. So if we have a check in that box that says only upload selected accounts, then when I'm on the consignor screen, I've got a checkbox here that says uses my resale web. So you can turn this on or off for specific consignors if you'd like to charge consignors for using this service. And then what you can do, you can come in here once a year when you know who's using it, and you could say, apply consignor fee to consignors using my resale web. $1, myresaleweb.com fee. Okay. One account has been updated. That was that consignor that I had that check mark in. I forgot who they were, but I did have a check in one of those boxes. Okay, so that's a way to collect money from your consignors who are using my resale web by controlling access to my resale web using this checkbox that says use MRW or don't use MRW. If they use it, then you make them agree to a $5 a year annual fee, and then you can apply that $5 a year annual fee to all the consignors that are using it under Tools Apply Consignor Fee. Might be another income stream for your store. Okay, consignors using myresaleweb.com. Okay, so that's a way to remove, that screen is a way to remove money from consignor accounts for a reason of your choosing against all or a portion of your consignor base. Okay. We have some store owners that charge, they're in these consignment malls, and the mall owner who's the owner of ConsignPro will charge booth space rent to their consignors, and they will use that apply consignor fee to every month collect different amounts of booth space rent from their consignors without adjusting the consignor balance on each consignor in the system. So anytime you want to bill your consignors or your vendors in groups, that Tools Apply Consignor fees can save you a lot of time. That way you don't have to go into Find Consignor, adjust balance, put in the reason, put in the dollar amount. You may be able to get away with using that Tools Apply Consignor fees instead. Okay, so those are some of the things that off the top of my head can be used to change or remove, change the amount of money you're paying a consignor, or to remove money from consignor accounts for the reasons that are set forth in your consignor contract. Again, it's important that all the things that we cover today are somewhere mentioned in your consignor contract just to protect yourself so that there's something to point to if you get a consignor that doesn't understand why there's a credit card fee on their report or on my resale web. Okay, so I hope you found this interesting. I think that if in the spirit of making more money or keeping more money in your store, I think this is probably our most informative webinar that we did. I hope you feel the same way. I look forward to seeing you or hearing from you again when we're doing our next webinar. The next webinar will be coming up very shortly. If I take a look here, it looks like it's going to be on support webinar series, and it's taking us all the way into October 4th, using buyer's fees, the effective use of buyer's fees. So we're going to cover some of what we covered today a little bit more on October 4th. We're going to expand this October 4th to be more than just using buyer's fees. I will come up with some more similarly related items to put into that webinar as well, just to make it not repetitive for you. In any case, that's it for this week. I hope you've all had a good time, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.